Welcome to science class. The unit body movements. We have discussed about various movements in our body and what are the helping organs for the activities. The bones and joints help us for all these kinds of movements. And also we have discussed what are the kinds of joints, because all the joints are not same all over body. They are different in our different parts of our body. Ball and socket joint, pivotal joint, hinge joint, fixed joint, and we have discussed about where they are present and what are their activities, how they are helpful to our body movements. So all the bones in our body also form a framework to give a shape to our body. So what is that framework? We have studied in the previous class, in the 5th class. That is the framework of bones is nothing but the skeleton. So all the bones and joints together form a framework called skeleton. We have studied the skeleton also in our 5th class. So the skeleton gives the shape, and the number of bones in some part of our body give us the definite framework to our body, shape to the body. So you can feel the bones in your forearm, upper arm, lower arm and upper legs. So try to find the number of bones in each part. Is it possible to find out how many bones are there? So similarly, feel the bones of your ankle and knee joints and compare these in the if you have the X-ray images, not only yours, if any X-ray images are there in your home, maybe your elders or anybody's X-ray images, you can compare. Okay. So the bones of hand. The bones of hand it is made up of several small bones called carpals. You can see these are carpals. See, it is very helpful for us. It is like a boon for us. Otherwise, what will happen if it has only one bone? So we have so many bones and joints together to form this hands, arms, palms, legs, toes, so that we can move any kind of movement, isn't it? Otherwise it will be not possible, impossible for us for such type of movements. Okay. Now one more activity. Students, take long breath and hold it for a while and leave it slowly. Now feel your chest. Feel the bones in your chest. So what you observe carefully and compare what you feel of the chest bones. So they are nothing but the ribs. What are these? These are the ribs in your chest. These are formed by the joints and small bones together, and the backbone. Here inside it is backbone together to form a box. So this is called rib cage. They form a box like rib cage. It is looking like a cage. So some important internal parts of our body lie protected inside this cage. So what are those organs, children? Very important organs are protected here inside the rib cage. That is, the lungs and heart are protected. So here is one more important thing. This is the long bone in your, along with your back, from neck towards the end of your back. So it is nothing but the backbone. Try to touch your back part. What you feel starting from the neck, move your fingers downwards towards the end of the back. So what is that back? It is backbone. You can feel your backbone in your back side. So it is made up of many small bones called vertebrae. The backbone consists of 33 vertebrae. So each one is called as, see, the vertebra. Plural is vertebrae. So how many are there? 33 vertebrae. The rib cage is joined to the bones. If the backbone was made up of only one long bone, imagine, children, what could be happen? Discuss within yourself. Think yourself. If our backbone is consisting of only one bone, what would be happen? We cannot bend, we cannot do any activity with such a long only one bone. So this is really wonderful help for us. So the bones on the back are prominent, where the shoulders are joined to the backbone also. They are called shoulder bones. And the structure is made up of pelvic bones. The structure where the backbone is joined to the pelvic bones. See, these are pelvic bones. They enclose a portion of our body below the stomach. This part is known as pelvic bone. Shoulder bones, pelvic bones, they form a stand-like portion to hold the parts of our body. They help us to sit, to stand, to get up, to wake up. Okay, and also the skull is made up of many bones joined together. See, the skull bones are joined together. See what they perform. They form a skull. Here also very important body parts are protected inside. They are enclosed in this skeleton. So what is this part of the skeleton? Skull. See, very hard protective bones. Within that, eyes are protected, nostrils are protected, teeth, tongue, mouth, lips, cheeks, chin, forehead, eyebrows, ears. So ears are also protected in it. So this is very important part of our body. That is one more important, most important part of our body is brain. Inside the skull, brain is protected. Some additional parts of the skeleton are not as hard as bones and which cannot be bent. They are called cartilage bones. They are little bit softer. They are not as hard as the bones. They are nothing but ear parts, ear lobes. You can notice the ear lobes and the portions which are, see, you can observe. Hold your ears, try to move them. You also hold your ear parts and try to move them. They are little bit moving because they are protruded outside our body from our head part. So this part is not hard as the bones. It is soft bone. They are not as hard as bone. So what is this? This is cartilage. Cartilage is also found in the joints of the body. Okay. The skeleton is made up of many bones, joints and cartilage. You could feel, bend and move many parts of them. Okay. So you have to draw the figure of skeleton in your notebook. We have learned about the bones in our body and about the joints that help us to move in different ways. So what makes the bones move the way they do? Let us find out. Okay. Now, small activity. Make a fist with one hand. Bend your arm at the elbow and touch your shoulder with the thumb. Do you see any change in the upper arm? Touch with the other hand. Do you feel swollen region is the upper arm? This is a muscle. See, in the hand part, you can see they are muscle part. The swollen parts are known as the muscles. Two muscles work together to move a bone. Not only joints and bone together perform the activity. There is one more very important part called as muscle. So muscles also contract and relax, help us to move the different body parts. You can observe similar contraction of muscles in your leg also, in your arms also, in your finger also, thighs, backside, in your face, chins, in the cheeks also. So when contracted, the muscle becomes shorter and stiffer and thicker. It pulls the bone. So muscles work in pairs. When one of them contract, the bone is pulled in that direction. Just like your cycle chain, when you push the pedal, how the pedal works in the cycle, in the same way our bones also work along with bones and muscles. The other muscles of the pair relaxes and one is contracted. To move the bone in the opposite side direction, the relaxed muscle contracts to pull the bone towards its original position. So like this, the muscles can pull and push the bones. So it enhances the movements of our body. So are the muscles and bones always required for movement? How do the other animals move? Do all the animals have bones? Then what about other animals which don't have any bones? Can you name such animal which don't have any bones in their body? Like snakes. Some snakes have bones in them. Even they also have framework of bones. But generally the earthworm, it is the earthworm which do not have the bones. So the particular movement in the different animals, we can call them gait of animals. They have particular movement. As we walk, human beings walk, jump, dance, anything, human beings do any kind of movement. But animals have specific movements. So observe an earthworm moving on soil in a garden. During rainy season, you can observe many earthworms everywhere. Observe its movement. It is different from other paper. See, It is different from other animals. Earthworm is able to move very easily. The body of an earthworm is made up of rings joined end to end. So an earthworm does not have bones. It has muscles which help to extend and shorten the body. You can observe the body movement. How the body movement happens in the earthworm is like this. The body keeping the rear portion fixed to the ground. Then it fixes the front end and relaxes the rear end. So then it shortens the body and pulls the rear end of the forward. So this makes to move forward by a small distance. Repeating such muscle expansions and contractions, the earthworm can move through the soil. Its body secretes a slimy substance. There is slippery gel-like substance in the body secretion. It helps to movement of the body. See, like this, the movement in the earthworm. Actually, it eats way through the soil. Its body then throws away the undigested part of the material that it eats. So this activity of an earthworm makes the soil more useful for the plants. So earthworm is called as friend of the farmers. It helps for making the soil fertile soil. Then observe one more animal in the earth, on the land. That is, can you identify this? This is inside a shell which moves very slowly. The snail. This is called the shell, where the smooth animal is protected inside the shell. It is outer skeleton of the snail, but it is not made up of bones. This shell is not made up of bones, but it is a shell, single unit that does not help in movement from place to place, but it is protecting organ for the snail. It has to be dragged along. Okay, you can place the snail and see it on a glass, how it moves, starts moving, and carefully lift the glass plate along with the snail and observe its movement. A thick structure and head of the snail may come out of an opening. See, it comes from the opening from this outside. You can observe the thick structure from the shell. From this shell, the foot of the worm, snail, is thick. So it helps to move forward. One thing, children, observe the movement of earthworm and movement of snail. Which is slower, which is faster? Observe. Both are slow moving animals. So these are the movements of we studied today. What we studied today? Movements in snail and earthworm. And let us study some other movement of animals in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice time.